Hey guys, welcome back to Let's Play Paranautical Activity. It's been a while since the last episode. Not least of the reasons for that was that I actually recorded one semi-recently. Do I have? Yes, okay, I have sound. Quieter than I expected though. Anyway, I recorded one, but it got all messed up. Like, DxTory just kind of stopped recording, so that was pretty disappointing. But I actually did a run with the rocket launcher, which I had been excited to try out, and it went okay, and then I got trapped into a corner and died. It was like, I was going fast enough with bunny hopping that I kind of got under a staircase, and I was stuck there for a few seconds and just lost 6 health in a row. So that was pretty disappointing. But anyway, so that kind of discouraged me from trying to record another one, because I was, you know, sad about how the run went, and also sad about the fact that my recording went kaploof. But you know, I'm still enjoying the game a lot, and there's still a lot to do besides, you know, just beating the game once, which is what we did on the last episode that saw the light of day. And I was saying that I wanted to try out some of these other weapons and see if I can master them in any meaningful way. Still don't really like the hook or the trident, but I would like to get better with them, because it seems like they just require a totally different style of gameplay than I'm used to. And, you know, that would be a fun thing to be able to master. I'm glad this room is going so well so far. That was close, though. Oh, shit. I don't like this, though. This moth seems to have AI that's really good about getting it into a situation where you can't stand next to a wall that the bullets will hit. Like, it'll go into a corner, so you have to run all the way away from it into the next corner before you can actually get the bullets out of the way, and in the meantime they have time to catch up to you. It's a very tricky AI, but anyway, we got through that without taking any damage, which I'm pretty happy with. We got the anchor, which is okay, I guess. That'll make bunny hopping a little bit easier. So we're gonna fight the giant skull right now, because why not, basically. We have a great weapon for it, and it's unlikely that I'm gonna find anything in the shop that would make this too much easier. Considering wasting a bomb here, but at the same time, these spiders are so easy to take out with the shotgun. Are you kidding me? As I say that, of course, that spider somehow just, you know, survives several shotgun bullets going straight through his body, but whatever. We're totally fine. Seems like the farther away they are, the easier it is to actually hurt them, because the hit scan does a little bit better at that angle. As soon as they start getting underneath you, it's way harder to hit them with the shotgun. But as long as we take them out, you know, as long as we're proactive in taking them out, works out totally fine. That is the end of Skolito. Super easy boss. We'll pick up Skolito's skull, because the floating bombs are pretty much always an advantage in my experience. They, the physics on them falling and having to account for that is really not conducive to aiming bombs properly, except, you know, ironically enough, on that very boss fight. That's the only point in the game where I think it's really important for your balls to fall and for your bombs to fall and stay there, because they'll end up in the cloud of spiders and blow them up. But besides that, you just kind of want to be able to hit things in the air if necessary, especially if you end up with something like the grenade launcher. Well, not something like, especially if you end up with the grenade launcher, because that makes it way easier to aim. Still really looking forward to the patch that will fix the grenade launcher. Right now it's basically unusable, because it does half as much damage at base as it's supposed to. So it's only, I mean, it's not unusable, but you really need to get upgrades for it first. Like, it would be good if you were like, okay, I got the powder keg, I got the gum, and then, hey, look, there's the grenade launcher, because then you're actually doing damage with it. But if you start off with it, it's the worst. It's such a bad weapon at the start of the game. It's so bad. Because it should be doing twice as much base damage as it is, and somehow that just didn't come through in the code. So looking forward to that change so I can play with that weapon a little bit more, but in the meantime, I don't plan on using the grenade launcher at all, because it's just, yeah, broken right now. Don't want to use Gilead's gun at all. I'm going to take Shield Lover, and I hesitate, but I'm going to pick up the Sickle. We're going to try this some more. and see if I can figure it out. But really, it just seems like such an inefficient weapon. You know, it's unusually difficult to land, and you don't only have to land it, you also have to land it exactly right so it stays inside the enemy for a certain amount of time. It does kill these guys on contact, which I appreciate. Oh god, please come back. I'll just melee that guy. Yeah, see, its range is pathetic. The lowest range in the entire game. With the possible exception of the trident, just because you don't want to throw the trident very far, but like in terms of absolute range, like this is how far away you can possibly hit an enemy. The sickle has the worst range. Oops, I should just be meleeing this guy. Go, almost took damage from this guy over here. And again, I'm just gonna come and melee this guy because that's so much easier than dealing with the throw. But yeah, it's so weird. You have to get a sense of how much charge corresponds to how much throw, and then, you know, utilize that to make it go just far enough. But you know, it's like blackjack. You wanna hit it as close as possible, but you don't want to overshoot at all, because if you, well, you don't want to undershoot at all, I guess is what I mean to say. You want to get it at least as far as the enemy, and you want to get it just right at the enemy, but if you undershoot at all, then you're not going to do any damage at all to the enemy, which is a weird mechanic, and takes a lot of practice to get used to. I'm just not convinced the speed at which you can take out enemies with this thing justifies the effort that goes into mastering it. It seems like just like a hard mode weapon, which is cool, I suppose. It's not going so terribly so far. I think this is my best performance with the sickle so far, but as things get more hectic, I expect that assessment to change pretty drastically. Let's try to take out some of these guys. Nope, I'm just gonna straight up miss because the projectile speed is so wonky. Alright. And these guys are gonna be a pain in the ass because I think they can literally like get out of the sickle's range from anywhere in the room. I think the ceiling is high enough that I can't always hit it unless I stand up here. Oh man, come on. There we go. I hesitate to say it, but one asshole who comments on like every single one of my Paranautical activity videos, like he's some kind of pro who always knows exactly what I should have done and gets really angry when I don't. And if you know who you are, I've considered blocking you several times, so you might want to tone it down. But he says that the way to deal with lectors with like the trident or the sickles is just jump on top of them and melee him. You know, no big deal. Just do that. Like, look at this. What are you talking about? Like, have you ever played the video game that you're talking about before? You can't. That's not an option in most room layouts, you know. And this is a unique situation in that there are only lectors in this room. There are plenty of room layouts where you have to deal with lectors as well as other enemies as well. So there's like, that's insane advice. I don't even understand what is going through your head when you suggest things like that. It's just every single one of your nuggets of advice is just unrealistic garbage. Not to harp on, you know, this one viewer, but you know, it's a common thread in a lot of advice I get as well. It's just like unrealistic advice that would have helped in one specific circumstance, but it's all of the different circumstances together that make this a bad weapon. It's like, look at that shit. It almost hit, but it didn't quite, and then it started coming the fuck back to me, so that I could not damage the enemy. There we go. But it's just like, yes, we're doing a lot of damage, but the amount of time that goes into moving toward the enemies and, you know, getting into range, lining up my shots perfectly, the amount of wasted time every time I miss, it makes it such a slow clearing weapon. We're going to take the magnet, because I like it a lot. And I would like to get the horseshoe, but, you know, I'm not convinced we're going to get enough for it, and it's not the most important upgrade in the world, because there is a certain point where you start getting enough gold that it's unnecessary. By the way, the horseshoe, if you don't know, gives you just more loot. Not sure how much more. I would assume something like 10%. But, you know, it's nice. It's like a very bad version of the scissors in my experience. But it's certainly not necessary. Though, I mean, it probably also gives you more bombs and hearts, which could be useful. Is this room cleared? Oops. Keep on falling off of these because like right when you go down the stairs, your jump stops working for a second. And that's what was happening to me repeatedly there. Just weird physics stuff with the stairs. So I kept on attempting to jump, but like being on the lip of the stairs, which means that the game considers me in the air for a second, and then I fall. Oh my god, come on. Come on. There we go. Hopefully that didn't hit me. Oh, that one did. I wonder if I can melee demons in one shot. I don't think I should try it because, oh my god. See, and this is a situation where it's like, if I had a normal weapon, even though I've been, like, I hardly even wasted any shots. I've been hitting with every shot. Or almost every shot. I'm still taking out this room so much more slowly than if I just had, like, even the weakest weapon, like an M14 with no damage ups or anything. I could have cleared out this room so much more quickly just because of the reliability of the damage and the speed at which you deal it. There's so much wasted time on setup with this weapon, whereas there are a lot of weapons that are spammable and aren't really appropriately penalized for the fact that they're spammable. You know, like, if something requires this much setup to do damage, then it should kill things way faster than any other weapon, but enough enemies have really low HP that something like the M14 is totally viable to take out rooms like this really quickly. How did that just go right through that dude? Oh my god. Alright. Just do some crazy dodges. But I would already... all of these little dudes would be cleared out if I had the M14. Even with no damage up. And that's the big issue here. Just, like, the room clearing speed with the Sickle is, like, the max room clearing speed, I should say. Not like the average for somebody who sucks with the thing, but the very maximum speed with which... how did you live? With which you can clear out a room with this thing is pathetic. It takes so long just to walk around the room and hit everything, compared to just being able to shoot from across the room and take things out that way. It's just real bad. I'm still totally unconvinced that this is a viable weapon. And a lot of people will bring up like, oh, it's just your playstyle. No, it's not. I'm talking about like literal maximum efficiency of both weapons. And this weapon just does not cut it. There's so much effort that goes into walking around the room and getting close enough to actually injure everything that you cannot outdamage an M14 with the Sickle. You can't do it. You cannot. There are very few rooms, I should say. There are obviously situations, especially on bosses. And that's the big counter argument, is the bosses will take a lot longer. I don't find bosses to be much of an issue in this game, with few exceptions like Poseidon. You know, it's the little rooms that wear me down, and you know, maybe that's different for some people, but still, like, the amount of time and the amount of danger you have to put yourself in as well, because keep in mind, like, I can just stay by the wall and be totally safe a lot of the time with the M14. With the Sickle, I have to be close enough. I have to be within, like, how far does this thing go? It's got to be less than half a room, right? Oh yeah, that's like a third of the room length. So I have to be within the same third of a room as the enemy I want to damage to even like consider being able to deal damage to it. And that's, oh my god. See, look at this guy. It's not even doing that much damage to him. Fuck, man. Like, come on. At least make it great for the things it should be great for. I'm doing nothing to this guy, and I can't really get close to him without huge risk to myself from those homing shots. It's doing some damage, but I could just sit back and not take any damage from this fight. Like shooting from back here. This guy's really easy to dodge from back here, but get within a third of a room from him, and suddenly it's like, oh, I can't get close enough to a wall to make all of these homing shots miss. So I have to dance around over here, wait until he's not using homing shots, and then get closer. Dude! Just stop it, man. Just calm down. That's enough homing shots. Oh my god. Okay. And now we have the normal shots, so we can get closer, and now I'm probably fucked. Yeah. Oh man. Okay. Oh fuck. You can't approach with all these homing shots. It's way too dangerous. Okay, and there's another hit. But look at how long that took me. It's crazy. It's insane. Alright, some damage up is going to be very welcome for taking out certain enemies more quickly. I think the whale is especially weak to the Sickle. Not particularly. No, I mean he has a lot of health, granted, but all right, there we go. If I get him head on, apply directly to the forehead. No, but if I get him when he's facing me, then it's really good. From the side, it wasn't fantastic. But yeah, that's one instance of like, okay, yeah, I took down that whale with much less damage and much less effort than I would have taken with the with any other weapon, really. The sickle was like designed for taking out that whale. But, you know, for every room like that, there's so many rooms that are like, that bunny hopping just straight up didn't work. That was weird. Oh my god. I'm really slow. That's the issue. Like, even with bunny hopping, I just feel so slow. I'm just double checking the store here to make sure I didn't forget anything important. Oh, I think there was a horseshoe in here. So yeah, 250. I will take the horseshoe. Might as well. Maybe will give me a few more spirit hearts so that I can survive a little bit better. Jesus Christ! Like even with all this bunny hopping, it takes so long to approach a speed that is acceptable. This is gonna kill me. I feel like the sickle is a weapon that really needs speed more than maybe any other weapon in the game because of the amount of getting close to things you have to do. So that blubber pickup might just end this run really prematurely unless we get a pickup or a speed up very soon. It's just, yeah, we're in a bad spot right now. Cause yeah, let's just. Is bunny hopping even working? I don't know. Like usually you can bunny hop in a doorway like that and it makes you very quick. And as far as I can tell, it is not functioning. Either that or I'm so slow that I just, you know, expect to be faster than that after bunny hopping when really that's my speed after bunny hopping to max. Oh, these guys are going to be great, by the way. I can't move away from them. Okay, perfect. I was really afraid I wasn't going to be able to get out of that without getting hit. Let's check out this mini-boss room. Mini-bosses I should have an advantage over because the sickle is kind of optimized for them. That was half of that dude's health. He really helped me out by staying in the sickle by chasing me. Wow, that was really lucky. So there's another situation where it's like, yeah, sickle did great. Sickle, you know, got me through that boss fight way more quickly than I could have possibly done otherwise with basically any other weapon unless we're assuming a lot of upgrades. So, you know, appreciated. But again, then we're in rooms like this where this motherfucker is going to make it almost impossible for me to get away. And I'm taking so much damage that I shouldn't be taking because I am forced to put myself in dangerous situations. Because you have to balance, like, getting through a room fast isn't everything. It helps a lot because that's less time that monsters can deal damage to you. But in the case of, like, the big demon guy who was shooting homing bullets at me, like, yeah, if I just dove in there, I could have killed him really quickly. But I would also have lost way more health than I would have lost going slow and steady with a long distance weapon. The low range I think is really underappreciated for this weapon. It's such a huge aspect. Having to get so close to enemies is so dangerous. And this is a game where I really rely on staying away from enemies to avoid damage because that's the best way to do it. There are a lot of enemies like Genghis who will just fuck your shit up if you let them close to you. Like these bouncing bomb dudes, they'll cause some issues for you if you get too close. The lectors, you really have to stay by a wall at all times or you're gonna get hit. Lots of situations where just having to get close to enemies is a really big disadvantage. Alright. So we're still going. Not necessarily happy about it. I'm going to stick with the sickle until we die, by the way. I want to, you know, give this weapon the fairest shake I can, see all its advantages and disadvantages laid bare, so that eventually I may be good enough to make up for the fact that this thing is a total piece of shit and beat the game with it. There we go. Perfect. I do like the fact that it has a melee attack. That is fun. But I also think it should be a one-shot kill on basically anything, and I know it's not. I'm pretty sure it's a two-shot kill on the demons, but that's kind of irrelevant because if you get that close to them, you are taking, unless you're very, very, very fast, you are taking at least 3 or 4 hits of damage. Because the demons do not fuck around. Yep, nothing I could have done about that, just way too slow. Oh, well, let's go ahead and fight the boss. Again, we should have a pretty substantial advantage over this guy. Oh, no, we won't. Okay, this is the worst situation possible for fighting this guy. We're just gonna die if that's okay with you guys? Yep. And that's why blubber's a bad item. Not really. Please don't flame me about that. But that's why you need speed up with blubber. That's why the game is literally impossible at blubber speed. Shit like that. I don't know, like, Biznap and I had a really long Twitter argument about it, and I still think he is straight up wrong. He just says, oh, it's not a disadvantage to be slow with blubber, you just have to bunny hop a lot. I couldn't get away from that guy to bunny hop. I wasn't allowed to jump most of the time because he was literally on top of my head. Ah, man. What a disaster. So I don't know whether to blame that one on the sickle or the blubber, but I think they both played a substantial role. The chainsaw dude is really hard to kill with the sickle. You couldn't really see it because of how that fight went. But also, he's small enough that the sickle barely ever stays inside of him, which means it takes so much longer than it should to kill that guy. And that's the weird thing about the sickle. It's really good on some things like the whale, and really terrible to the point where it will just straight out kill you on things like the chainsaw guy. And, you know, isn't it better to just have a nice balanced weapon that's good on everything? I say yes. Some people disagree with me, but I say emphatically you should really have a weapon that's good in every situation rather than fantastic in some situations and god-awful in other ones, because you're going to have to fight every situation at least once. So I want a tool that will let me get through that. Anyway, that's my attempt at a run-through with the sickle and why I think it's a bad item. Thank you guys for watching another episode of Paranautical Activity, and I will see you guys next time.